Hi and welcome. In this video, we will discuss about transaction log backup in SQL Server. How do we take a transaction log backup using T-SQL query and GUI, and what is a transaction log string and how it is performed. We'll see difference between differential backup and the log backup. As the name implies, backs up transaction logs of database from the last full backup or the last transaction log backup. The series of modifications is contained and maintained using log sequence number, which always starts with a full database backup. If for any reason the backup chain or a log chain is break, we need to again perform a full backup and then we need to continue with the transaction log backup. This backup type is possible only with full recovery model or bulk log recovery model. The main advantage of transaction log backup is we can achieve point-in-time recovery for the database in case of any disaster. There are two prerequisites before you perform transaction log backup. The first thing is we need to check whether our database recovery model is set to full or bulk log recovery model. If the database is in simple recovery model, we cannot take a transaction log backup because as soon as the transaction is committed, it truncates from the log file and it is not possible to take a backup of the transaction. So in case of simple recovery model, we can only have a full database backup or a differential database backup. And the second prerequisite is we need to at least take one full database backup from the database as a start point for the new backup chain. Without taking a full database backup, we cannot perform transaction log backup. Let us see a demo. Let me create a new database. Database name is MyDB. Let me create a table. Table is created. Now let me try to take a transaction log backup and see what error I may encounter. This is the transaction log backup T-SQL script. Backup log, mention the database name, to disk, give the path where you want to store your backup file, and this is the backup file name, and this is the .trn extension for the transaction log backup file. And once I execute this statement, it says it is not allowed when the recovery model is simple. So I have already told if your database recovery model is simple, you cannot take the transaction log backup. First change the database recovery model to full. For that, go to databases, select the database, right click, properties, and then go to options. Here in the recovery model, select full. Okay. Now try to execute the statement. It says backup cannot be performed because there is no current database backup. If you remember, I have already said before you take a transaction log backup, you need to first perform a full database backup if not performed earlier. I have just now created a database but not taken a full database backup. First I need to take a full database backup of this database. This is the full database backup T-SQL script. So backup has been processed, full backup. Let me show you the physical file. So here is my full backup. The size is 2800 KB. Now take the transaction log backup. You can see the statement has been processed successfully. The backup has been processed successfully because we have met the prerequisites. We have changed the database full recovery model to full, and we have taken the full database backup. So the two prerequisites which are discussed has been met. Hence the log backup statement did not give me any errors. Now we will see how to take a transaction log backup using graphical user interface. Select the database, right click, go to tasks, and then backup. Here from the backup type, select transaction log and choose the path destination where you want to store your transaction log backup file. I want to store in F drive under backup folder. Give the file name. Okay. You can remove the old one. Under media option, you have backup to existing media set. You can choose the one which you require. And in the transaction log, I am going with truncate the transaction log. We'll discuss this option when we talk about tail log backup in our next videos. And in backup options, you have backup set. You can choose the backup set expiration and so on. And click OK. The backup of database has been completed successfully. So we have taken a transaction log backup using T-SQL script and also using GUI. Let me show you the physical files. This is my full backup, first log backup and second log backup. If you see the size of second and first log backup, it is 108 KB. Because I have not inserted any data into the database, the size is very smaller. Let me insert few records into the table and see the size of the log backup. Here I have already created a table. Let me insert data into the table. Data has been inserted. I'll show you. So total I have 100 rows. Let me insert few more records. I'll show you the operation of shrink, so that I need to insert more records. It is taking some time because I'm inserting total 10,000 records. It is still executing. So why I'm doing this is I need to grow my transaction log. That means the log file will start taking disk space. You see here it has already grown to 1.7 GB, 1.13 GB. If you see the properties, the transaction log file has already grown above 1 GB. Okay, the transaction is still executing, it's not completed. It may grow up to 2 GB also, depends on data. So these transactions or the transaction log file start eating my disk space. And if you note this note one point, all these transactions are being committed. It means these are committed transactions and are written into the data file. Because our recovery model is set to full, these transactions once committed will not be truncated from the log file. It will stay there in the log file and wait for the transaction log backup to be performed. Once we perform the transaction log backup, all these transactions will be truncated from the transaction log file. Insert operation has been completed. Let me fetch the records. You can see here total 5,68,927 records are present in the student table. Now when I go to database log file size, if you see here it has grown more than 2 GB. When I created a database, it was only 8 MB, but now it has increased up to 2.19 GB. So this has taken my disk space. Now I want to free up the space. How do I do that? For that I need to first take the transaction log backup, so that all the committed transactions will be truncated from the transaction log file, and then I have to perform shrink operation to release space to the disk. So if I go to my database and then tasks, shrink, and then files, if you see select the file type as log. If you see the currently allocated space is 2248 MB, it's 2 GB. And if you see the available free space, there is no free space at all. It's only 1%. If I perform a transaction log backup, then it will free up the space by truncating the committed transactions. So let us perform a transaction log backup. I have executed this statement. That means I am taking a log backup of the database. It will also take some time because we have inserted almost 5 lakh records. Those all 5 lakhs records should be truncated from the log file, and those should be copied to the log backup file. Let us wait. So it has processed successfully. If you see, it has processed totally 2,84,512 pages. So what it has done, it has truncated the committed transaction from the log file. Let us see the physical file of the log. This is my log file of the database. Even though the transaction has been truncated from the log file, the size of the log file has not been decreased. It is same as it is. The log backup will release the log file space but not the disk space. For that, we need to perform shrink operation. Go to my database, select the database, tasks, shrink, files, select the file type as log. If you see here, the currently allocated space is same 2 GB, but the available free space, it is 89%. Previously it was 1%. So we need to give this free space to a disk. So just select this release unused space and click OK. The shrink operation has been completed successfully. Let us now check the physical file of the log. Refresh. It has decreased to 40 MB. From 2 GB, it has decreased to 40 MB. So where the space has gone? It has gone to log backup file. Let me show you the log backup file here. If you see the log backup file, the size of the log backup file is 2.17 GB. Okay, I hope you have got the logic. So the space has been released to the disk. So if you go and check the available free space, it's 15% and allocated space is only 40 MB. Previously it was 2 GB. Okay. There are few more points to be noted. The first one is we must back up the transaction log regularly to protect our data and to prevent the transaction log from filling. And this transaction log plays a vital role in keeping the database in a consistent state, and we can recover the corrupted database or mistakenly modified table to a specific point in time. The first transaction log backup will take a backup of all the transactions that has occurred in the database since the last full backup. By default, every successful backup operation adds an entry in the SQL Server error log. If we backup the log very frequently, these success messages accumulate very quickly, resulting in huge error logs, and that becomes difficult to find other messages. In case if you want to suppress those log entries, we can use it by trace flag. The trace flag for this is 3226. We can use dbcc trace of 3226 minus 1. We need to execute this statement in order to suppress the log entries of the transaction log backup. Okay. If you want to enable it once again, you can use dbcc trace on. Let us now see the differences between a differential backup and a transaction log backup. Differential backups are cumulative, whereas transaction log backups are incremental. So here I have total 5 events. For each event I am going to add one numeric number, that is 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. And in each event we will perform a differential backup and log backup, and you will see what happens. First I have in the event 1 I have 1 in the record. First we will perform a full database backup, then I will get record 1. and then if I perform a differential backup, I will get the record 2 because this is the modification that has done after the last full backup. And then if I perform a log backup, it also take a record 2 because this is the modification that has done since the last full backup or the last transaction log backup. So this is the first transaction log backup that we are going to perform. So it will take only 2. And then if we take event 3, here if we insert data 3 or record 3, and then if we perform a differential backup, it will contain the modifications that has done since the last full backup. So after last full backup, I have inserted record 2 and 3. But whereas the log backup, we already know it takes the transaction log records that has happened since the last full backup or the last transaction log backup. So last transaction log backup, we have data 2. So after 2 we have inserted only 3. So it will take only record 3. Similarly, if we insert 4, we will be having 2, 3, 4 in the differential backup and only 4 in the log backup. And similarly, here we will have 2, 3, 4 and 5. For log backup, we will have only 5. So differential backup is cumulative in nature. It means it keep on adding the modified record in the next differential backup. And in order to restore database, we only require this differential 4 backup because it contains all the modifications that has done since the last full backup. But whereas in transaction log records, it is incremental in nature. In order to restore a database, we need to restore each and every transaction log record. So let me show you using an illustration. So here I have a database with 3 records. If I take a full backup, I will get all these 3 records, and then if I inserted 2 more records, record 4 and 5, and then if I perform a log backup, I will have only those 2 records which are modified after the last full backup, which is record 4 and 5. And then I am going to insert one more record which is record 6, and then if I take a log backup, I will have only those records that has modified after the last transaction log backup. So after the last transaction log backup, I have inserted only record 6. So if I again perform a log backup, I will be having only record 6 in my log backup file. And then if I insert 2 more records and then take a log backup, I will have only those 2 records. Okay. And for suppose if my database is corrupted or it has been deleted, to restore a database, I need to first restore full database backup and then log backup 1, 2 and 3, so that I will get all the 8 records. Okay. For suppose if we have a differential backup concept, then so similarly I have a database with 3 records. If I take a full backup, I will get all the 3 records, and then if I insert 2 records and then take a log backup, I will have only those 2 records, 4 and 5. And then if I perform a differential backup or first a log backup, let me insert one more record, record 6, and then perform a log backup, I will have only record 6. Now I want to perform a differential backup. A differential backup will have all the modifications that has done after the last full backup. So my differential backup will contain record 4, 5 and 6. Okay. Now let me insert 2 more records, and then now I will take a log backup. So this log backup will contain those 2 records, record 7 and 8. Now if my database is corrupted, then I have to first restore the latest full backup and then the latest or the last differential backup and then consequent log backups, which is log 3, so that I will get all the 8 records. Or else we can ignore the differential backup and we can go with only log backups. Restore first full backup and then log 1, log 2 and log 3 so that my database will be restored completely. Okay, I hope you have understood the concept. In our next video, we will discuss the tail log backup. So for suppose if we have a full backup at 6 am and at 7 am we have taken a transaction log backup, and at 8, that means every 1 hour I have a transaction log backup, and at 9:30 if my database is corrupted, so I am going to take a transaction log backup at 10 o'clock, but at 9:30 only the failure has occurred. So how do we restore a database in that case? So there comes into a picture the tail log backup. So we will discuss this in our next video. Okay, so that's all in this video. Thank you, and we'll meet in the next video.